There are 3 easy steps in creating your resume link. Let me show you how.
Step 1. Register. Go to www.jobs180.com using any browser and click Register Now. Fill out all the information needed. In choosing your resume link, use your full name so that it looks professional and it's easy to recall by potential employers. For example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz.jobs180.com. Step 2. Create and design. When creating your resume, make sure to complete your personal information and upload your profile picture. One of the highlights of the resume link is the portfolio section. In the portfolio section, you can show off your skills by uploading samples of your work like documents, pictures, videos, and your social media links.
Your resume link also features different themes and you can upload a cover photo. This is a combination of a cover letter and a social network cover photo. Here is an example. You can also download a copy of your resume link and print it. Step 3. Apply for a job. There are many ways to apply with your resume link.
First is browsing the job recommendations in your Jobs 180 dashboard.
If you're qualified, click Submit Resume Link. So what are you waiting for? Dress up your next generation resume, stand out brightly among the competitive job seekers in the market, and win the heart of your future employers using Resume Link.
Hello, good morning once again. Welcome to Jobs180.com's Marketing Meal Live with Perpetual Health College of Manila. And today, we will be joined by speakers from Jobs180.com, Orense, Makati Medical Center, and ADP Philippines. So before we start, may we invite everyone for the opening prayer followed by singing of the national anthem.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Mother of perpetual help, you have been blessed and favored by God. You became not only the mother of the Redeemer, but the mother of the redeemed as well. We come to you today as your loving children. Watch over us and take care of us. As you held the child Jesus in your loving arms, so take us in your arms. He who is mighty has done great things for you, and God's greatest fear is that in time of temptation, we may fail to call out to you and become lost children. Intercede for us, dear Mother, in obtaining pardon for our sins, love for Jesus, final perseverance, and the grace always to call upon you, Mother of Perpetual Help. Our Mother of Perpetual Help, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Bayang magiliw, perlas ang silanganan, alam ng puso, sa titik mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupit, di ka pagsisingil, sa dagat at bundok, sa simoy at sa langit mong paghaw, may nilang ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kisap ng watawat mo'y tagumpay na nagtitigil, ang bituin at araw niya kailan pang may magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng warangit pagsinta, buhay ay langit sa atin mo. Aming ligaya dapat may mamapit at mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Welcome back, everyone. Good morning once again to all our viewers. By the way, my name is Maria and I will be your host for today. Ready na ba kayo? I hope you all are because we are live again via Jobs 180 Facebook and Jobs 180 YouTube. We hope that everyone is excited to learn new things today. So to officially start our session, may we invite Miss Eliza Perez, the school guidance counselor, to give us the opening remarks.
Good morning, graduating Perpetualites. As we gather here today, I want to acknowledge the incredible accomplishment of all graduating students who are embarking on a new chapter in their lives. As we all know, leaving the academic environment and transitioning into the professional world can be a daunting and challenging task. However, it's important to remember that you have already achieved so much by coming this far in your studies. Now is the time to take the skills and knowledge you have gained and apply them to real-world situations. It's also the perfect opportunity to build on that foundation by learning the basics of job application, which will help you get that job. So whether you're just starting out or already on your way, we hope you will find this webinar both informative and encouraging. May this moment help you maximize your potential and succeed in your professional journey. Remember, you are capable of achieving great things, and we look forward to seeing you succeed in the world of work.
Thank you so much, Ma'am Eliza, for gracing our event. And as usual, to our audience today, please comment your name, your year, and your course. And if you have questions later on, please type it to the comment section so we can answer them after the talk. So Q&A will happen after each speaker's presentation. So don't forget to tag and share this to your friends too, all right? And of course, the evaluation and attendance will be released at the end of this session. So if you guys are ready, here is our schedule for today. Number 1, job applications using Resumelink from jobs180.com. Dressing up for virtual interviews from Orense and Young. Career opportunities for graduating students from Makati Medical Center and developing strong work ethics from ADP Philippines. Alrighty. Shout out to everyone na nandito na again. For those students who are just joining, please do not forget to comment your name, your years, and your course. All right. And as we go along, type in your questions so we can read it later. All right. Okay, huwag kayong mahiya because this is your chance to ask before you face the real adulting thing or the world of work. So to our audience, please sit back, relax, and let us all #learn together. Okay, I know you guys are excited, so kilalanin na po natin ang ating unang speaker with the topic job applications using Resumelink. He has 20 years of experience in sales, marketing, business development, customer service, operations, business process, and human resources. As a trusted resources speaker, he has done over 1,000 plus career development seminars in more than 400 plus colleges and universities nationwide. The managing director from jobs180.com, Mr. Kim Chua. Sir Kim, good morning. The floor is yours. Take it away.
You. My name is Kim Chua. Don't forget the wa, baka Kim Chu lang maalala nyo. And I'm here to share to you about the most secure job application. This is how you can market yourself more effectively and the different ways to do that. Okay, so let me start. Now, when you apply, you probably have a checklist. Now, if you're using the right tool, so just go along with me if you have the right, if you have the same checklist that I have. So, ito yung mga things na like kung tinatandaan. Tool I'll be using help me to stand out. That's the first item that is very important for me. Kailangan mag-stand out ako kasi dami-dami kong kasabayan kalaban sa pag-apply. Another thing in my checklist is that do I have more than one file? Because oftentimes I have a lot of files. May academic records, may mga government IDs, ang dami yung mga kailangan hingiin ng mga companies. So I'd like to put them all in one file. And this tool helps me to do that. Okay? Another thing that this tool can do is it allows me to make the process efficient. Mas napapabilis yung pag-apply, no? Hindi na napapatagal yung pabalik-balik. So, mas mabilis din syempre tayo maka-move forward. Diba? And another thing that this tool can do is that wala tong bayad. Bills month. Okay? So, this tool is absolutely for free. The most important in my checklist is that this tool, okay, makes my information secured. And I think this is the most important question. Do you want your information to be secured? My answer is yes. Okay? And so with that, let me show you ano to tool na ito. This is called Resumelink. Resumelink by definition is the most secured tool job application. Okay? This is a personalized URL. It is a link that anyone can open online anytime, provided that they know the link. So let me use an example. If you are John Santos, just in case lang, your name is John Santos, your Resumelink would look something like johnsantos.jobs180.com. Ganun lang kasimple. So how do you make one? Okay, how to make one? The first step is for you to register. This is absolutely for free. Okay? So what do? You go to www.jobs180.com and that is where you now register. Okay? As you register, you just simply fill out the information. These are the basic information. You have the account details, you have your personal information, you have your education background, and just in case you have your work experience, whether it's OJT or it's part-time job or whatever yung work experience na yan, then you proceed to that work experience page. Pero pag wala, hanggang dyan na lang tayo sa my education information. Okay? After doing so, you now start create your resume link. So ano ba ang basihan ng resume link? Kadalasan, ang resume link natin, we base it on our name. We base it on our unique name. Okay, so as an example, if you're John Santos, then you say johnsantos.jobs180.com. Now, what about during scenario, you create your resume link, tapos may nauna sa inyo. May ibang John Santos, may kapangalan ka, no, nauna sa inyo. Ano mangyayari? Magkakaroon na red na box. Sasabihin niya, this name has already been taken. Okay, malungkot pag taken na. Okay lang, maging creative lang kayo ng konti. Pwede mo balik na rin. Pwede mo sabihin Santos John. Okay, you can also say Santos J, o kaya J Santos, o kaya JS, di ba? Or SJ. Depende sa link na gusto mo. Wala kang kapareho kahit kayo may kapangalan. Now, another thing I'd like to emphasize here, wag po kayo A. Pag gumawa kayo ng resume link, huwag mo gagawin tipong nakalagay lover boy, Barbie doll, di ba? Because it doesn't sound professional. Imagine going to a company and the HR will ask you, do you have a resume? Tapos sasabihin mo sa kanya, meron po, ang resume ko ay joblo.jobsonidia.com. Diba? Baka matakot yung HR sa inyo. So I don't recommend that something like, stick to your name, whatever your name is, it will sound professional. Okay? Now, in creating a resume link, you have to use a valid email. Emails like Yahoo, Gmail, Rocketmail, email, basta nabubuksan nyo, wag ka lang gagamit ng facebook.com na email. Okay? Do not use something, example lang patrick@facebook.com na email. Do not use patricia@facebook.com na email. Okay? In short, do not use @facebook.com na email. Because if you use @facebook.com, you will no longer be able to receive notifications being sent to you by the companies as well as jobs180.com. Okay? So use something that you can open. Why is it important for you to open your email? Because you have to verify your account. Okay? Remember, pag nag-verify, yan ang ebidensya na ikaw nag-register talaga. Yan ang proof. At the same time, if you verify your account, then you'll be receiving notifications from the companies as well as Jobs on 80. If you do not verify your account, hindi nyo na po marireceive yung mga company. So, lang naman, di ba? Might as well verify your account first. Okay? Now, you're done with the first step after you verify. So, ano na ang second step? Ang second step is the most logical of all. You have to complete all the information. Very logical. Sino sa inyo mag-apply sa mga kumpanya bungi-bungi detalye? Sino sa inyo magbibigay ng resume sa mga HR tapos kulang-kulang details nyo? I don't think you'll do that because you're just wasting your time. Instead, kumpletuhin yung information nyo bago kayo mag-submit dun sa mga companies. Okay? So, step 2, complete the information. And how do you do that? Punta kayo ulit dun sa website, www.jobs180.com, and this time, you don't need to register again kasi may account ka na eh. What you need to do is you have to log in. Okay? Now, as you log in, you start to put your registered email or your resume and your password na ikaw lang may alam. Okay? Ganun lang siya kasimple. Now, once you're inside your account, you start to fill in the blanks. Ganun lang simple. Fill in the blanks. So, the things that you see here, yung mga content, pakasimple lang. Personal details nyo, lagay mo dyan. Diba? All the information na sa tingin nyo relevant, you put it there. Now, I have some emphasis lang on items na madalas na miss out ito ng mga aplikante. Ano yung mga yon? Sa contact information, you have to put here all the possible ways na pwede ka makontak ng isang HR. Kagaya ng social media handles nyo. Ba't ko nasabi yan? Because in reality is, pag tinatawagan kayo ng mga HR, madalas hindi naman ina-answer eh. Lalo na pag hindi nyo kilala, pag nag-ring yung phone nyo, hala, sino kaya ito? Di ba, hindi mo kilala. Ano gagawin? Hahayaan mo na lang. Di ba, antayin mo kung may mag-message sa inyo. Eh, paano kung yung HR hindi naman masipag hindi masipag mag-message? Masipag lang siya pag. That's why I recommend you put here all the possible means na pwede ka makontak. Kagaya ng social media nyo. Put your Facebook there, yung mga messenger nyo, mga Twitter nyo, iba pang mga paraan, social media handles para mabilis kayo out. Message na lang. Are you available Thursday, 10 a.m., so on and so forth. You get what I'm saying, di ba? So lahat ng paraan, lagay mo dyan. What else do you put here? You also put yung inyong mga sa work options naman, you just choose lang, parang yes or no lang yan, parang switch, no? Kung ano yung mga options na gusto ninyo, no? Willing to work night shift, willing to relocate, looking for a we can also put it here. Okay? And then in terms of education, obvious naman, yung alma mater nyo, lagay nyo dito. Diba? Yung mga pampakapal ng resume, sa seminars attended, kahit magkopya, okay lang. Basta lang make sure, alam nyo na pag-usapan doon sa seminar na yon. Pagdating sa certification, ganun din yan. Walang limit sa space yan. Achievements, recommend ko dito is you don't only put yung mga achievement nyo inside the school. Okay? Kasi hindi naman lahat tayo academically inclined. Some of us are not very active sa school, pero active tayo sa mga social civic organization. Diba? So, even if it's outside of the school, you can also put it there. As long as you think it is an achievement, you put it there. Okay? Now, in terms of skills and languages, isahin ko lang yan ha, sa skills, do not limit your skills dyan lang sa course nyo. Hindi perkat education ng course mo, ang ibig sabihin, ang skills na alam mo lang ay magturo. Hindi counting ang course mo, ang alam mo lang gawin or ang skills mo ay mag-debit, credit, at mag-balance sheet. Diba? So, walang connection, also put it here. Example, photography, diba? Videography, diba? And all the other things, calligraphy, pwede mo ilagay dyan. Okay? When it comes to languages, I'm sure alam nyo, 2 lengguwahe na at the minimum. You know English, you know Filipino. If you know local dialect, to be specific, lagi mo Tagalog, Chabacano, Bisaya, Diba, Ilonggo, wala naman limit sa space eh. Diba, if you know foreign languages, put it there. Chinese, Japanese, French, Vietnamese. Kung ano man yan, ilagay nyo. Because what you're doing is you're trying to market yourself more effectively to the prospective company. Now, when it comes to references, sigurado naman ako yung mga references nyo, kilala nyo. Ang tanong lang dyan, kayo ba kilala nila? Kasi madalas pag tinatawagan namin yung mga references nyo, hindi kayo maalala. Yung pinakamalupit dyan, hindi talaga kayo kilala. Okay, so please advise yung mga references nyo na ginawa nyo silang reference para at least they know what to tell about you. Okay? Now, at this point, I'd like to highlight yung mga things you do in your resume. Ano yung mga yan? Diba? Ito yun. Section. The portfolio section now upload evidence of your skills. And I think with this day and age, dito mo not application sa mga companies. Because oftentimes, when we apply to companies, marami mga hinihingi, mga pre-employment requirements. They will ask for mga documents, mga proof that is showing na yan talaga yung mga skills nyo. So, kung ano naman meron yung mga documents, you can now take a picture, you can scan them, and you can upload it here. Example, government IDs. Diba? Meron ka mga transcripts, academic records. Diba? You can put that there. Okay? Kung meron mga medical clearance na kailangan, ganun din. Hindi na kailangan pabalik-balik sa company. Oh, ayos ba? Oh, eto pa. Diba? But wait, there's more. Ito na yun. Itong isa pang gusto ko i-recommend sa inyo, yung tinatawag natin selfie video. Nowadays, I think it is not very difficult to create a selfie video. Diba? May TikTok nga kayo eh. Diba? Alam mo naman paano gumawa ng selfie video. So I don't need to teach you how to create a selfie video. What I need to share to you na lang is yung anong kailangan sabihin pagka gumawa ka ng selfie video. Okay, this time, what I recommend is you say something interesting about yourself. Okay? So, you pretend that you're being interviewed by the HR. Diba? Ano yung matatanong sa atin? Why should we hire you? Diba? Tell me something about yourself. Why should we consider you among all the other applicants? O, di ba? Ang kagandahan ngayon is you create that video for 1 minute or less. Hindi kailangan sobrang haba, no? Mga 1 minute lang or less. Pero ang maganda rito is na-evaluate na nung HR yung inyong communication skills. If you can speak in English, then I recommend you speak in English. But if you cannot, it's okay as long as you're able to show your personality. You can also showcase here yung mga hard skills nyo. Ano yung mga hard skills? Kagaya ng mga video na panood ko dati, pinakita nila how to use a soldering iron, how to properly handle a welding machine, how to fold table napkins. O, ganun, di ba? So, depende kung ano yung mga skills na alam mo at depende kung ano yung nasa field mo rin, di ba, na napag-aralan. Di ba? So, gusto mo magpakita ka, kung balance sheet, pwede rin. O, di ba? Again, it really depends on what you wanted to show dun sa HR. Ang point is, you don't need to travel back and forth para lang ipakita on the spot dun sa HR yung inyong hard skills. And, most importantly, hindi na kailangan magkaroon ng istorbo. Di ba? Sometimes, when we try to for the view, maingay yung background, hindi maig. Di ba? Mahina signal, maingay, or sometimes hindi all. At least, that selfie video, it, I think with the is that you also your profile studio para magpa-picture. Huwag ka na gumastos. Ang importante lang dyan, tumingin ka sa camera, okay, with plain background, at of course, magbihis ka naman ng maayos, di ba? And then, you're good to go. Huwag mo gagawin yung mga nasa right side ng screen niyo. Those samples that I'm showing you, it doesn't look professional. Imagine, di ba, yung mga selfie, mga nilagay ng avatar, yan, huwag nyo gawin yan. Okay, huwag nyo gawin yan. It doesn't look nice, doesn't look professional. Okay? Now, another good thing pa with the Resumelink is that meron tayong tinatawag na cover photo. Ayan, tabi sa matatamaan, may iba sa kikinig ngayon, hindi naman kayo gifted with writing skills. Some of us are having a difficult time expressing our thoughts and feelings into words. So ano pwede mo gawin? You can now use those pictures to represent your personality or to showcase yung skills. Example, look at the one on the left, yung nasa baba. Ano kaya siya? Sabi ni iba, sir, ophthalmologist, optometrist, or eye expert. Yung nasa kanan, yung nasa taas, ano kaya siya? Sabi ni iba, sir, para siyang admin or clerical work. Or maybe makalat kasi tingnan mo yung lamesa ang kalat-kalat. O, di ba? Again, it depends on the interpretation of the person looking at it. This is an example of someone into HR or maybe into psychology. And this one is an example, it's a very good example by the way, of someone who wanted to say that there is no shortcut to success. Hindi po yan miyembro na Akit Bahay Gang. Okay? You will be able to reach yung goal mo by taking one step at a time. O, di ba? Ba? You get what I'm saying now. So I'm showing you good examples para you can draw inspiration from. And I will also show you not so good examples. Ito yung wag niyong gagawin. So, ka na picture dyan, lalaki man babae in between, okay, lagay mo dyan, meron man tayo na LGBTQ+, okay lang, you put it there. At least alam to expect. A lot of times, yung mga pangalan kasi very interchangeable nowadays. Ako, guilty ako dyan. My name is Kim. A lot of people think babae ako, di ba? Pag nabasa ko nga resume, anong resume nila? Chris, nakalagay George, Alex, Sam, Nick, di ba? Joey. I would assume lalaki. Yung pala, babae. O, di ba? You better sure you put your picture there. Pugot yung ulo nyo pag nilagay ng picture. Dapat kompleto. Okay? Never leave this blank because if you leave this blank, it will not catch the HR's attention. Trust me. Kung ikaw ang HR, wala ka namang ibang makita dyan, malamang mangyayari dito, next applicant na. Okay? And then if you want to catch the HR's attention, do not create something. This is my opinion. I don't think this looks professional kasi ang dating parang tamad. Happy go lang, parang chill, walang pakialam sa buhay. Again, that is just my interpretation. Okay? So, I showed you the example guide. Now, you can play along later o kung nyo mas bagay sa inyong background or sa inyong sa pakita. Nag-examine a very good example. Look at this person, itong iExpert. Bakit yung example ng kanyang resume link? All the information seeing here, compare, diba, hindi pabalik-balik. Okay, kung HR, everything that you need to ask or you want to know about the applicant, you will find it here. If you're the applicant, you might as well put everything there para huwag mo na antayin time na hindi pa sa'yo ng HR, yung mga documents yan. Baka hindi na mangyari yun. Baka may ibang aplikante na mas active, nilagay lahat ng mga information na i-process na siya kaagad. Diba? Now, at this point, I know what you're thinking. Okay nga resume link. Kaso lang, baka naman yung information ko internet. Hindi. Ang tool for your application. Kaya, bakit settings? Ikaw, not user or as a resume link owner, ikaw ang may contact mo. And how will that happen? When you log into your dashboard, you find the resume link settings. Pagpunta mo sa settings, mapunta sa privacy settings at doon ka mamili ngayon ng information you want to show. If you don't want to show your birthday, what do? You turn it off. So your references, you turn it off. Yes, turn it off. So, mga information user or as a resume link owner, ikaw ang may control ng privacy settings mo. And how will that happen? When you log into your dashboard, as you can see in my screen, when you log into your dashboard, you will find the resume link settings. Pagpunta mo sa settings, mapuntahan mo yung privacy settings at doon ka mamili ngayon ng information you want to show or hide in public. So let me use an example. If you don't want to show your birthday, what do? You turn it off. You don't want to show your references, you turn it off. You don't want to show your address, what do? Turn it off. Diba? So yung mga information na in-off mo, hindi lalabas sa public. Now, if ever lang you decide to change your mind, ang maganda dito sa resume link, updated yan, real time. As in real time. So 5 minutes later, you want to show your birthday, turn it on. What happens? Lahat ng mayroong alam ng resume link mo, alam na niya yung birthday mo. Diba? If 2 days later, you want to show your address, you turn it on, you save your profile, lahat ng may alam ng resume link mo, alam na rin yung inyong address. You get what I'm saying? Diba? So, depende na sa inyo kung ano gusto mo yung on or yung off. If you want to turn off everything, then okay lang. You can just turn off the button. Enable public resume link, off. Wala nang lalabas sa public. Kahit na anong information. Okay? So, yan ang re-remind ko sa inyo. This, the second step is for you to complete the information. And in doing so, please make sure that your profile is interesting, diba? Yung information mo kompleto at updated ang details nyo para mabilis kayo makontak ng mga HR. Now, we go to the last step. Pangatlo na, last step na to. The last step is for you to submit. Now, how will you submit your resume link to those companies? You might be thinking you want to explore opportunities outside of the Philippines. Maybe you want to join some job fairs later on. You want to apply online. You want to, marami, walk-ins, diba? Depende kung ano kasi bumabalik na yung face-to-face ngayon. So, lahat ng mga ipapakita ko sa inyo, lahat ito, practical application. Lahat yan, makaka-relate kayo. Ano yung first one? The first one is you go online. Of course. Diba? Yan ang fastest way. You just connect via your phone, via kung ano man gadget mo, go to jobs180.com, search for companies. And by the way, speaking of search, you can only search for company, tatlo lang pwede mo i-search ha. Search for company name, position title, and location. Doon sa search bar, hindi mo pwede ma-search ang resume link. So example lang, ikaw si John Santos, okay, ikaw si, ako na lang, Kim, halimbawa lang, subukan mo pumunta sa jobs180.com, doon sa search bar, type mo doon Kim. tingnan mo kung may lumabas. Malamang sa malamang, walang lalabas. Unless may company name, position title, or location na may word na Kim. Other than that, walang lalabas dyan. Kasi hindi siya searchable. So, the only time a company would be able to know your information is if and when you give your exact resume link to that company. So, ikaw may control. Ayos? So, tuloy natin. Okay, tuloy natin. So, if you're going to search for companies, what do? Just go to the website of jobsonid.com, search for companies. Kung may lumabas, edi meron. Pag walang lumabas, edi wala. Diba? Ganun lang yan. Huwag natin pilitin magkaroon ng something kung wala talaga. Diba? Okay, so ano gagawin? Tingnan mo yung mga companies. Kung meron kang type, edi gawin nyo, check nyo yung opportunities. After that, you now submit your information to that company. Okay? When you submit your information to the company, it will ask for your profile, for your resume, ng consent dun sa company. Okay? Now, another option is for you to send resumes via email. Now, there's nothing wrong in sending resumes through email. Ang tanong dito is, how are you sending your resumes through email? Do you do it like this? Do you say, Dear HR Manager, I'd like to apply for the following position. This is my resume. Tapos mag-attach ka ng Word file, PDF file, or whatever file you have. If you're doing those attachments pa, ang tawag dyan, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Hindi ko sinabing mali. Ang sabi ko lang, traditional, pampabagal, makaluma. Bakit? Hindi mo kailangan mag-attach anything anymore. If you're going to write an email and send your resume, just simply type your resume link there. Dear HR Manager, I would like to apply for the following position. This is my resume. In this example, Antonio Juan de la Cruz, jobsonid.com. Send. Tapos na. Ganun lang kabilis. Diba? Whatever changes you need to do, you put it inside your resume link. You don't have to keep on sending another attachment. Paano kung imagine mo na lang, nag-attach ka ng Word file, diba? Ng PDF file. Tapos nagpalit ka ng address, nagpalit ka ng phone number. Ano gagawin mo? Email mo na may HR. Dear HR Manager, I'm sending you my updated resume. Ganun ba? Paano kung 2 months later, lumipat ka ng bahay, iba na address mo, send ka ulit ng bagong resume. Dear HR Manager, I'm sending you my updated, most recent resume. I don't think you'll do that. Kasi kung ganun ang ginagawa mo, sayang sa oras yan, nakapagod sa part mo, lalong-lalo naman sa part ng HR, mas nakakapagod to keep track kung saan dyan yung pinaka-updated na attachment or pinaka-updated na resume ng aplikante. And this time around, if you have your resume link, all you need to do is just update your resume link at lahat na may alam ng resume link mo, makikita nila yung pinaka-real-time update ng profile or information. Ayos ba? Ayos ba? Sige, another one. For those who wanted to use a hard copy, gusto mo talaga may hard copy ka when you apply to those companies, you want to give something, then this is also possible. What do? You go to your dashboard inside your job seeker account, then you can print your resume link. Mamili ka lang, 1 column or 2 column version. Either way, the system will try to compress everything into 1 page. O diba? Maginhawa sa buhay. So kung gusto mo talaga mag-apply sa mga kumpanya, hindi mo na kailangan mag-prepare ng maraming mga pages. Minsan, di ba, yung mga aplikante, mga 2-3 pages ang isang set ng resume. Palibasa, yung font size 45. Kaya umaabot ng 2-3 pages. O diba? Pero this time, the system will try to compress everything na into 1 page. Just in case you really want to have a hard copy. O diba? Tipid. Okay? Another thing pa for me to encourage you to do is you use resume link cards. Resume link cards. Ano tong resume link card? Kung sa mga nagtatrabaho na, ang tawag namin business card. Sa mga nag-a-apply, tawag dyan, resume link card. So in one piece of paper, whether short bond or long bond paper, you can now design it your own way. You can design it depende kung ano ang gusto mo. Pagiging creativity mo, ikaw bahala. You can make 10, 20 sets of cards. Depende sa laki o liit. Diba? Kasi laki ng index card or kasi liit lang ng mga normal business cards natin. Diba? So, depende. So, maybe in one long bond paper, you can make 10, 20 sets of cards na. And so, after you have it printed out, pwede ka na ngayon maggupit-gupit. Gupit-gupit na lang. Diba? 10 or 20, bawat kumpanya, you can now start to give that as a hard copy. Hard copy pa rin naman yan eh. But this time, why am I encouraging you to use resume link cards instead of the traditional long bond or short bond paper? Bakit? Una-una, tipid. Diba? Because of course, right now, eto, tipid. Kasi if you're going to apply to 20 companies, you don't need to print 20 sets of long bond papers. You just need to print 1 long bond paper and cut 20 small pieces of resume link cards. O, diba? That's for the cost side. Tipid na. Pangalawa, at mas importante, security of information. Diba? You want to have peace of mind. Paano ko nasabi yan? Kapag ikay nagbigay sa isang kumpanya ng long bond paper or short bond paper, example lang, no? It's a traditional resume. And for some reason, nilipad ng hangin. Okay? Nilipad ng hangin. Hindi mo kasalanan. Kasalanan ng hangin eh. Diba? May nakapulot na stranger. May nakapulot na stranger. All your information, alam na nung stranger. Tama? And you cannot deny it because you know what I'm saying is true. Diba? Hindi mo kilala pero alam niya yung buong details mo. Now, using your resume link card, same scenario. Nagbigay ka ng resume link card sa company, nilipad ng hangin ngayon. May na stranger na nakapulot, okay lang. Bakit? Kampante ka. Kasi yung resume link, ikaw may control ng privacy settings mo. That's why, in your resume link card, what I recommend, you just simply put your name and your resume link. Dalawa lang. That's it. If you want to put your mobile number, it's okay. It's up to you. You can put it there. Diba? Pero ang point ko is, resume link, pwede na siya makita ng mga HR or mga companies na bibigyan mo. Diba? So you have peace of mind now. Okay? So there's resume links. In fact, dun pa lang sa privacy portion, panalong-panalo ka na. Ikaw ang may control ng privacy settings mo real time. Pagdating sa speed of hire, it becomes faster and more efficient because whatever you want to show the HR, you just attach it there. Whatever the HR needs from you, they just ask from you. Diba? You take a picture, you scan them, upload it there, and later on, pag okay na, you now turn off yung privacy settings mo. Diba? Or you can remove them in the attachments. Diba? Cost efficient, definitely wala tong gastos, tipid. Diba? If you're thinking, ay sir, paano po yung internet, kailangan ng pang-load? Pwede ka maging resourceful. Connect lang tayo sa mga libreng wifi. O diba? And then pagdating sa flexibility, if you really want to have it printed out, yung inyong resume, you also have the option to print it out. That's like how I showed it to you, 1 column or 2 column version. Either way, it's really up to you. Pero ang point ko is, resume link na lahat yan. Okay? And you can use this to any platform, whatever platform you want to share it to. You want to share it sa mga messenger nyo, you want to share it sa email, sa Viber, sa text, diba? Gusto mo, kaya ko bahala. Diba? Gusto mo, sulat mo sa papel, tapos gawa ka ng airplane, palipad mo, diba? May nakakuha, alam niya yung resume link mo. Ikaw bahala. Okay? Ikaw may control. Sa hard drive, baka mawala pa yung USB nyo. Delikado. Diba? Wag na. Baka kung ano pa makita ng mga nakakapulot ng mga USB na yan. Okay? So you don't need to worry about compatibility as well because this is compatible to any platform. If you're using Android, you're using Safari, kung ano magamit mo, pwede yan sa kahit anong version. Okay? And so, just to promote lang, if you want to be part of our team, we're also hiring. Mismo sa jobs180.com, we're hiring for several opportunities, several vacancies yan. Check out na lang yung aming jobs180.com/jobs180 na page. Okay? And by the grace of God, shout out lang ako, right now we have more than 400 plus colleges and university partners nationwide, from north all the way to the south of the Philippines. Thank you, Lord. O, diba? Ang kinalat namin, hindi lang virus. Biro lang. Kinalat namin, resume link. Yan ang kinalat natin. So, a lot of schools now, including your alma mater, are now using the resume link. So, I hope it doesn't stop here. No? You become a blessing to others as well. If you have friends, you have yung mga relatives mo, na sa tingin mo, kailangan nitong tool na ito, you can share it to them. Wala namang bayad eh. Libre naman yan. Okay? And so, as we close this portion, I'd like to discuss some of the frequently asked questions. Baka ito yung mga agam nyo or ito yung mga questions na gusto nyo tanungin. Sagutin ko na muna. Okay? Unang tanong, can I give my resume links to companies who do not know about jobs180.com? The answer is absolutely yes. Basta alam nila eksaktong link mo at ikaw may control, sino bibigyan mo nun. Ikaw lang ang magbibigay. Diba? So, ikaw lang may alam sino binigyan mo. Okay? Now, second question, is it the same as other job platform, kagaya ng JobStreet, LinkedIn, or any other job site? The answer is no. May dalawang pagkakaiba. And let me use an example here. Let me do a shout out to JobStreet, no? Because I think you guys know what JobStreet is. So, shout out lang to them sa mga nasa JobStreet. If you're using JobStreet na resume, you can only apply to companies who are using JobStreet. If you're applying to a company who is not using JobStreet, you cannot use your JobStreet resume anymore. Pero pag gamit mo yung resume link mo, pwede mo yan gamitin kahit na saan, kahit na kanino, kahit na anong platform. Diba? Basta alam ng HR yung eksaktong link mo at ikaw magbibigay nun. That's the first difference. Second difference, if you have already submitted your JobStreet resume to an HR, you cannot change anything anymore. Well, you can on your end, but it will not be reflected on the HR. Time update. Comparing it to resume link ni Jobs 180, you can update it real time. 2 days later, 5 minutes later, 6 weeks later, ikaw bahala. Anytime nag-update ka ng information, lahat na in-update mo, dagdag bawas, will be reflected real time across all na may alam ng resume link mo. Okay? So those are the two major differences. Now, pagdating sa pangatlong question, yan ang pinaka-simpleng tanong. Can I keep my information secured? I hope by this time na-convince ko na kayo na ito na ang pinaka-secured na job application platform. Okay? So, use your resume link. Number 4 question, I think is the most important question. How often should you update your resume link? The answer is every time. Every time na meron kang babaguhin. Okay? Every time na meron kang babaguhin. Lalong-lalo na yung contact details mo. Kasi imagine, binago mo lahat. Binago mo yung work experience mo, nagkaroon ng awards, nagkaroon ng achievement, di ba? Sayang din. That's why you have to update yung contact details niya. Okay? And the last question is just a trivia. Trivia lang, palaisipan. Why is this called jobs180.com? This is called jobs180.com because we want to turn your life around 180 degrees. And in case you're wondering, no, you wanted to raise a concern, bakit hindi po 360? Kasi pag 360 degrees, you only go back to where you started. Ikot ka lang na ikot, wala kang pupuntahan. 'Di ba? Bumabalik ka lang kung saan ka galing. Oh, ha? O, 'di ba? Char-char lang 'yan. Okay? So, anyways, again, kung meron pa kayo ibang questions, just in case you have questions, okay, you may send those questions here through our website, www.jobs180.com. You can also email us or email me here sa info@jobs180.com. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, pati na rin sa TikTok. Okay? So, check us out on all our social media platform. Okay? Again, my name is Kim Chua. Don't forget the wa. Okay? Isang magandang araw po sa inyo lahat. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Kim. All right, thank you so much for sharing us on how to create a job-winning resume. So that was a helpful presentation po to our audience today. All right, so sa mga audience natin today na wala pang resume link, please create now. Just go to www.jobs180.com and click sign up for free. Okay, libre po yan at walang bayad. All right. So for those who have questions also regarding the topic, please email us at info@jobs180.com or post it sa ating comment section. And for more career opportunities, please don't forget to visit www.jobs180.com/jobs180. All right, let's just go ahead now and move on to our second speaker with the topic dressing up for virtual interviews. She has been in the industry for more than 10 years, handling different facets of HR. She started with outbound sourcing, then moved to end recruitment processing to facilities and employee relations to talent marketing, and now handling university partnerships and linkages. The Senior Associate, Talent Attraction and Talent Acquisition from Ernst& Young, Miss Mariel December Palomares. Hello, Miss Yel. Nice to see
Hi
you again po.
Maria,
Good
good
morning.
morning. Nice to see you
Hi,
again.
ma'am.
So,
Yes
allow me
po.
to share my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you see it on your end right now?
Yes, ma'am. Since your screen is
Okay.
up, I'll just go ahead and go be right back after 20 minutes for the Q&A. Thank you so much, ma'am Yao. Good luck
Okay.
po.
Thank you. Okay. Let's just time it. Okay, 9:40. So should be done by 10. Okay. So hi everyone. Good morning. I know it's quite early, but I hope you're able to take your breakfast already. So without further ado, allow me to introduce myself again. I'm Yel from UIGDS, part of the campus team. So I'm here to quickly discuss to you what dressing up for success means, or at least preparing for either a virtual or a face-to-face interview. Okay, so first we'll be discussing the following. Okay, so importance of dressing up, steps in choosing your interview attire, do's and don'ts of dressing for an interview, and some examples of business casual for men and for women. Okay, so first let's go with importance of dressing up. So first off, it's not just that we choose to dress a bit more, but actually there's a study why people are aware, well, most people are aware that you need to dress for success. Okay, so because actually there's a science behind the term. Okay, so a study by Lefkowitz, Blake, and Moten in 1955 proved that business suits portray a form of authority. So for sure, when you see someone like wearing a suit, or let's say a business attire, right? There's quite a different effect rather than, let's say, seeing someone wearing a shirt and jeans, right, in an office setup. So of course it depends on which industry you're part of. Okay, but in an experiment, they had someone in the city cross the street against the traffic. So when the person was dressed in a suit, three and a half times as many people followed him as when he was wearing a work shirt and trousers. Actually, even here in our country, if because here in the Philippines, it's not really that usual. Not unless you're in the Makati or BGC area, perhaps, but it's not really that usual that you see someone wearing a coat and a tie. Okay, actually, when we see someone walking in the street and like wearing long sleeves and a tie, we initially think that, especially if the person is quite young, we immediately think that, oh, perhaps he's trying to apply for a job, or he just went straight out of an interview. Right? It's not that compared to other countries when you had the chance to visit those countries, especially in the Western countries, it's a usual thing. You often see people wearing suit and a tie. Okay, so it's not really that grand for them. So there. And of course, first impressions count. The visual aesthetic we present to others through our appearance and apparel is extremely important, okay? Especially if it's an interview, because you have just a few seconds for that first impression, okay, and a few more minutes to prove yourself during the question and answer portion, right? So we need to make sure that we put our best foot forward. Okay. So at the same time, it does promote a self-respect and self-worth in a sense that, of course, you took time, effort, and pride into dressing sharp. Actually, you even like shelled out a bit of your budget, right? So, especially for women and for some men. Okay, not to be judgmental and all, but for most women and some men, it takes some time for them to prepare, especially if they want to put on makeup. Right now, there are even heterosexual guys who put on a bit of makeup when they go out, or at least sunscreen, right? Compared to before, people always had a certain judgment that if you put on like a bit of something on your face, if you're a guy, it automatically says that you prefer a different type of, like, you have a different type or specific type of sexual orientation. But right now, people are really open-minded and aware of the power of sunscreen, or the power of at least dressing a bit more than the usual, for both men and women. Okay, so if you're aware of, let's say, the Korean culture especially, right, for them, um they feel a bit, what do you call this, sometimes, well, most of them feel a bit offended if you meet them, or like talk to them, like go out with them without putting any makeup on, or without even, dressing up a bit more, because for them, it entails a bit more of a respect, because you take a lot of your energy, time, effort in preparing. It means that they feel extra important if you prepare beforehand. Okay, rather than, let's say, you just showed up in the lunch date or brunch date without even combing your hair, or without even putting a little gloss, right? So there. And at the same time, your self perception is a great impact on how others perceive you, right? So as people often say, if you're confident, it actually shows. Like your energy really is being released, in a sense that if it's a positive type of energy, you're confident, you love your body, how you look, how you dress, how you um, put a little makeup on, put a little perfume or cologne on. Right. So since you feel good on the outside, so more likely you will be feeling good in the inside. So more likely there's a higher chance that your day will be better than the usual, rather than waking up, you're stressed already, you weren't able to, let's say you woke up a bit late, you're in a rush, weren't even able to comb your hair, weren't even able to iron your clothes, right? So if you look like a bit of disheveled kind of look, then your day might not be, might not turn out that well compared to being prepared beforehand, right? So there. And it draws the right kind of attention. So if you've encountered the term peacocking, Okay, so like the peacock, they show off their feathers. It's how they let's say brag about how beautiful they are. So it's a practice that involves dressing up in order to get noticed. It's just a good kind of way. Okay, not the negative part of just perhaps you're thinking, he or she just might want or craves a lot of attention. So it's not really like that all the time. There might be some instance that that is true, but for of course work related, especially if you're trying to prepare for an interview, it's a different case. Okay, so not preparing might show that you're unprofessional and that you didn't really took an effort, or you don't respect them enough to wake up a bit earlier to prepare something like that. Okay, and of course it's a step to overall self improvement. Okay, especially um as your confidence grows, okay, along with the self perception, you might just open a gateway to some lifestyle changes, right? So if you want to look good, you don't need to really spend a lot, not unless you have the extra, budget to splurge and all, to get facials and lasers and stuff. But if not, just drinking a lot of water, taking at least an hour or 30 minutes a day to exercise, sleeping at least 8 hours a day, perhaps, right? So you don't need to spend so much if you're cutting on cost and are being forced to go to the gym. Okay, so but if people, if let's say you start your lifestyle change, try to cut on carbs, try to cut a little bit on your sugar and salt intake, for example. So if that's the case, of course, it might inspire you to to improve your overall self lifestyle, right? As they say, a little goes a lot. So of course, it's not that the reason behind people. One of the reasons, well, why people like quit the gym or quit, let's say, their diet, is that sometimes they kind of expect that it's an instant effect. Like once they go to the gym, they feel that after 3 6 months, the result should already be there. Or after dieting 3 6 months, a year, the result should all already be there. Okay, so of course you need it does take time, years even, and consistency. Okay, so at the same time it will keep you productive. Okay, when you dress to impress, you look well, feel good, and you'll be more motivated to get things done. And of course it will turn out to be that you'll be more productive for that entire day. And also one important thing is that it shows your attention to detail. Okay, so of course you are aware that, let's say, this color doesn't match your skin tone, or let's say this color doesn't match, like, let's say, your top and your trousers, for example, and your shoes, or does your clothes match your bag, for example. So of course you need to check on that. So it really takes a lot of effort. And a strong first impression, of course, leaves a lasting impression. So whether it's a negative one or a positive one, of course, we hope it will be a positive one, right? So because if it will be a strong first impression and it's positive, at least, right, the interviewer, whether it's initial or final interview, they will be able to remember you amongst all the hundreds or even thousands of candidates. And at the same time, of course, it's fun, not just for women but for men as well. Nowadays, experimenting with different styles and colors. Okay, check what's comfortable, especially right now. Like, uh, summertime is here, though we don't really have summer in the Philippines. Like, dry season, right, is here. So you need to check on which colors are best during the warm days, like extra hot days, right? And engage in different types of reactions. Okay, does this color look good on you, or does this type of textile makes you feel comfortable? If, especially right now, we're not purely work from home already, where almost everyone is going back to the school, going back to the office, even if it's hybrid setup. So if you're commuting, especially, so you need to know and check which types of clothes are you going to be comfortable with. Okay, so there, so you should never be afraid to change things up every now and then, you need to level up. And at least if you try to dress up, then it will be, extra fun for that day. So, steps on choosing an interview attire. Okay, so of course, when choosing an interview attire, there are some important considerations. So, making a good impression on a potential employer, that's our main goal. Feeling comfortable and confident, because sometimes when you overdress, it's, especially if the clothes are skimpy, you cannot breathe, your stomach is like like the clothes is very tight, you might end up, not feeling well during the entire interview. You might lose your confidence, or you might go to the restroom every now and then, right? Because of you're nauseous already because of the dress, the heat, and everything. Dressing appropriately for the job you're applying for. Okay, so you better check if there is really a dress code. Then, if not, of course, again, it depends on the industry. Some industries prefer like a really formal attire during Mondays, and then business casual during Tuesday to Thursday, and Friday is like a dress down day. Some offices are like that. Some are like dress down every day. So it depends, right? Dressing for the location on site at the company's headquarters or via an online platform, right? So check also for the location if it entails like 1 to 2 hours travel time. We're gonna take the bus, the jeepney, and all that. We're gonna take like angkas or something. So perhaps you can like bring extra clothes, especially it's really humid nowadays. Okay, so 3 steps for choosing your interview attire. First, consider common rules of thumb. Okay, so just one step up from what those in the workplace environment wear since it's an interview. Okay, prioritize feeling comfortable and confident. Again, we need to stress out on this and make sure every garment in your ensemble is clean, free of wrinkles or tears, and properly fitting. Okay, because sometimes, it might be, let's say you spend thousands for this certain ensemble. However, you weren't able to iron it, or let's say during the travel you're able to like it has a tear already or something, or it's super loose, so you need to check that. Research the company's dress code. Again, check. There's a lot of ways to research. Call someone, ask someone, check on the, like Google it. Okay, or if you have a time, if it's near your location, like less than 30 minutes drive or travel time, then you might kind of, observe them if you have extra time, and dress for the interview location. Okay, so do's and don'ts of dressing for an interview. Okay, let's start with the do's. So do dress appropriately for the company culture and industry. Of course, let's say if they're not heavy on the, let's say it's not a firm, or it's not like a bank or something. If it's more of like advertising company or media company or something that requires you to just go to work in a very casual form, then do so. Okay. Um, Research the company and its culture to determine the level of formality required. So again, do your research. Do opt for neutral and professional colors. Stick to neutral colors such as black, navy, gray, or beige because it will be better for you to mix match at the same time, and it shows a bit of professionalism. Okay, so do choose neat, clean, and well fitted clothing. Make sure your clothes are wrinkle free, pressed, and fit properly. Okay, do accessorize appropriately and keep jewelry minimal and avoid anything too flashy or loud. Okay, so it depends again in this industry, but us in EY, of course, it'll be better if you wear like a business casual with like neutral colors and all. Avoid like neon outfits if it's your interview, but if you're already on board and you want to dress that way, as long as it's part of the business casual attire, then that's fine. Okay, so don't dress too casually. Again, it depends on the industry. I'm just talking about our company here. Okay, so and if it's an interview at the same time, so even if they didn't tell you to wear business casual or whatnot, then at least prepare. So just go in the middle, not too formal, not too casual. Okay, wearing jeans, t-shirts, or sneakers can send the message you don't take the interview or the job seriously. Okay, so again, we're still on the interview part. Okay, so don't wear anything too revealing or inappropriate because you might wear like very plunging clothes. Or right now, I can see people a lot of people actually wearing like tank tops, like their tummies is revealed in the clothing part, or you know or like a very backless type of top. So try to avoid that because you want to show that you're professional during the interview, right? So avoid clothing that is too tight, short, or shows too much skin. Don't go overboard with accessories. Okay, if it's too much, it might clash with your outfit. Okay, and avoid wearing multiple pieces of jewelry or oversized accessories. Okay, so for interview, this is not the time. Okay, to wear those types of large hoop earrings or five gold necklaces at the same time. So it can be distracting or even detract from your professional appearance. And don't wear heavy fragrances, especially if you're going to commute, because the smell of your perspiration might, and the and the sun, the heat might combine with the fragrance, and you will end up, especially if the interview room is like air conditioned and quite small, so the scent of your perfume plus the perspiration sometimes, well, most of the time, doesn't match. Okay, so try to avoid that. Perfumes and colognes can be overpowering and distracting in a professional setting, so it's best to, as much as possible, opt for a light, subtle scent. Okay, perhaps you try the scent beforehand and ask people around you if the scent is too strong. Okay, because if for guys, especially if it's a musty scent, like a very manly scent, when it combines with the sunlight or something, it doesn't really smells good, and your interviewer might end up being nauseous with the scent. And there. Okay, so samples are just this for a business casual. So, it for me personally. Okay, so again, it's a personal choice. I love chinos on men. So chinos is like in the middle of jeans and slacks. So when you go shopping, you can check that out. You don't need to spend a lot. You can check out like Shopee, Lazada, or whatnot, or which sites or apps do you prefer in terms of shopping, right? But chinos is usually a good choice because it's not too formal again and not too casual. You can wear it either way. If you have leather shoes like that or boat shoes like this upper right hand, if you're familiar with brands like Sperry, Sebago, those kinds of shoes, then it's also a versatile shoes. Because me, as a person, again, my just my choice. If I am cutting on cost, I want to wear pieces of clothing wherein I can use it on a casual, on a semi-formal as well, occasion, so that it's very versatile. So there, so at least I cannot just use this just for this situation alone, and I can use this dress even if I just need to go to the movies or have a brunch date, or even during interviews I can wear this, something like that. Very versatile type of clothing. um and for women, so here are some examples. So again, for women, it's a little bit, you know uh, it tends to be more like you need to put on a bit more effort, because for women, you need to check if your bags and your bag is matched with your shoes, if you're that type of person with, that really picky on the entire ensemble. So if just to be safe, then you can just buy bags that are black, brown, white, and gray, right? Those and without any prints, so that it will match with most of your clothes, right? But if you have extra money to spare, then why not buy an orange bag, right? Just if you have wearing like a bit of an orange shade. So as well as watches, of course, if it's a bit formal, then it's better to have a formal type of watch other than like a very loud plasticky watch, for example. So again, it's your choice, not unless you're wearing like an Apple Watch or a Samsung watch, and you can just interchange the bracelets. And if you're not comfortable wearing heels, it's not necessary. Okay. But if you want, of course, a little boost of confidence, wearing heels is perfect. But if you're not used to it, then that's fine. As long as it's as much as possible, try to avoid wearing sandals that are flat. You can wear flat shoes, but sandals, you need to have a little bit of heels if you're trying, even it's an inch of a heel, then you can do so. So if, as you can see, if the blouse is printed, the skirt should be plain, or if the skirt is printed, the top should be plain, right? So that's the usual thing. It's a bit of a risk if you're wearing print on print or denim on denim, something like that. So it might work, but not all the time. So to be safe, might as well have like a print and a plain, or a stripe dress and a plain cardigan or something like that. Okay, if you're wearing a belt, make sure it's not too tight. Okay, and if it's summer, try to avoid wearing stockings if you're the type of person who wears one, because it's a little bit warm than the usual already, especially here in the country. So for the makeup, as you can see, their makeup are very light colored, so they don't have like purple eyeshadow, pink eyeshadow. You can have like neutral, what do you call this, blush and eyeshadow and a little pink lipstick, that's fine. But if you're wearing like very pink blush with a very bright pink lipstick and a very bright pink eyeshadow, it might not work. So might as well play with nude tones. So there. And that's it for us. So a little bit over time for 5 minutes. But before we end, of course, for employment applications, please check out our job opportunities via our Jobs on 80 account. Just simply go to jobson80.com/EYGDS, or send us your resume link at campusrecruitmentph@gds.ey.com. Okay, so back to you, Maria.
Thank you so much, Miss Yell, for sharing us the importance of dressing up. And I am pretty sure that our audience today was able to capture all those things. All right. And to our audience, please, if you do have a question, post it now sa ating comment section. All right, para mabasa na natin at masagot ni Miss Yell. Okay. Miss Yell, I have an offline questions po dito. So, as a
Sure.
fresh graduate po, no, walang work experience. So, how can you stand out among the participants naman po during interview?
Actually, that's a good question, Maria. But just to answer that, there's a lot of applicants, surprisingly, that really stands out, regardless if they're about to graduate or already graduated. Depends on how they carry themselves. There are even some that tends to, let's say, mas kabado na tuloy yung nag-interview sa sobrang galing nung student. Okay, because it's just simply how you carry yourself. You don't need to be very dressed up or like heavy on makeup, but how you answer questions. If you answer it in a very clear and eloquent way, perhaps. So if you practice the usual interview questions, I'm sure there are a lot of campus talks hosted by Jobs 180 in terms of in how to answer how to answer interview questions, right? So that's how normally candidates stand out. And then, of course, how they dress up in a sense as well. And sometimes, if it's a virtual interview, the background, you need to be mindful of that, because sometimes there are times that we interview people wherein their bedroom is the background, tapos lahat ng clothes is ano lang, nakatapon-tapon lang sa likod. So might as well not do that. Check, just use a virtual background and put on light makeup and dial in a bit earlier than the usual. Those things perhaps will do.
Thank you so much, Miss Yell. And ano po, may plus points po ba kapag during interview is fluent ka mag-English, or yung sagot mo is pure English po?
That's another good question. Well, it depends on the industry. Okay, but for
Mm-mm.
us in EY, since we're dealing with international clients, we remind candidates that they need to answer in English. Okay, so as much as possible, you need to answer in English, because we
Mm-mm.
need someone who can present to clients, and of course answer. They need to be at least having above average English communication skills, or average communication skills, both oral and verbal English communication skills for us. Okay, but of course for those who doesn't deal with international clients, I'm sure if the interviewer asks a question, my tip would be ask the recruiter or ask the one who's interviewing you, ma'am or sir, is it okay if I try to speak in the vernacular or in Filipino?
Mm-mm.
If they say, yeah, go ahead, then that's fine. Okay, but if they say, I'm sorry, but you may, but it might have like less points for you or it might affect the interview. Because normally, if recruiters ask you in English, they expect an answer in English. But some industries allow people to answer in Taglish. So best to ask first and not assume that it's safe for you to do so. So there.
Thank you so much, Miss Yao. Ma'am, is it okay lang din po ba to ask a lot of questions during interview or just stick lang po dun sa pagsagot ng mga questions po nila?
Well, normally, sa interview kasi, sa last part or sa latter
Mm-mm.
part after the entire interview, recruiters ask or hiring managers ask, do you have any questions for me? Then that's the time that you can ask questions that should be with sense, okay? not just not just random questions because
Mm-mm.
sometimes it's also a test kapag nagtanong sila na, do you have any questions for me? So safe things to ask perhaps is what will be the next steps, or what's, let's say, your priority na hinahanap nyo with your candidate. Okay, questions like that. Okay, not weird questions that or questions that are not related to the job that you're applying for. But in between, again, it depends kasi very situational. In between, some recruiters ask na, before we proceed, do you have any questions so far? Yon. So, pwede na magtanong. Parang, hybrid po ba? Anong oras po ba yung pasok? How much po ba yung starting? Yan naman yung mas na tanong eh. 'Di ba?
Yes
Kung
po.
hybrid po, how many days po ba in a week? Ayun. So, pero hanggat maaari, if wala pa silang leeway to ask a question, then you just need to wait for the next question pa muna. Kasi for recruiters, especially if it's bulk hiring, they tend to ask questions na medyo mabilis kasi there are still hundreds of candidates that they'll be interviewing. Kaya sa dulo na sila nag-open ng Q&A, like what we're doing right now. So para tuloy-tuloy lang yung pagno-notes, and then after, question and answer portion. Ganon.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And
Okay.
last questions na lang po. What
Sure.
can you advise naman, ma'am, to those applicants who failed with their first interview?
Okay. So, well, to be honest, hindi naman talaga first interview, well, swerte. If first interview
Mm-mm.
mo, okay na pasado ka na agad. Okay, even I experienced that na and was surprised kasi I was trying to apply like in a sales part of a certain BPO in Makati way back when I
Mm-mm.
was a fresh graduate, and I was surprised that I failed. Noong una kasi akala ko parang syempre minsan ganun tayo, may ganun tayong feeling graduate naman ako, tsaka maganda naman yung grades ko, for sure, makakapasok ako dito sa company na 'to. Tapos magugulat ka, hindi pala. Okay, so, siyempre kailangan i-compose mo ulit yung sarili mo. First and foremost, you need kasi to check the job description. So, tumatanggap ba talaga sila ng fresh grad? Baka naman kasi nakalagay na dun na minimum 2 years, pero, well, it's not really harmful na mag-apply. Actually, I suggest you to try pa din. Pero of course, expect na there's a huge chance na you will not get the part. Okay ba? Pero better to try pa din. Pero since nakalagay na do'n na 2 years minimum, so talagang 80-20 na yung chance mo diyan. So what you need to do is, perhaps review, what went wrong, what went right. If there's a chance that the recruiter, very rare though, that the recruiter will call you and tell you via phone na you didn't make the cut, you can ask them, "Can I ask why for me to improve, myself?" Okay, pero yun nga lang kapag hindi ka nabalikan, so perhaps, ikaw na mismo. Try to think, are there questions that you failed to answer? Or are there questions that you answered pero medyo malayo sa tanong? So you need to really be self-aware of what happened during the interview. Okay, or baka naman hindi talaga yung based dun sa job ad, hindi naman pala talaga pasok yung course mo dun sa job ad. So talagang first step and very crucial is check the job ad. Kasi especially during the final interview, ang basis ng questions ng mga hiring managers at times is the job ad itself. So familiar ka ba sa gantong app? Familiar ka ba sa gantong programming language? Nandun na kasi yun eh. So if you didn't read it, you just read looking for Java developer, for example. Okay na ako dito. So, hindi mo na binasa. 'Di ba? Hindi mo rin binasa yung company na international company pala. So, tapos magugulat ka na kailangan mag-English, 'di ba? So, yung mga gano'n. So, you really need to check, triple check the job ad before, jumping in. And worst case scenario, if you fail, that's where we learn when we fail. So, you really need to accept and try again. Okay, it might not be the one for you, but of course there are opportunities everywhere, especially nowadays. So, yun lang. So, sabi nga nila, cliche as it may sound, it's not how many times you fall, 'di ba? But how many
Mm-mm.
times you stand and fight again. So for sure, with the help of your school and with the help of Jobs 180, okay, you'll be prepared before that first job interview. So there.
Thank you so much, Miss Yell. All right, and we are looking forward to have you again, ma'am, to our set of webinars for in the future. Thank you so much, Miss Yell. Oh, may last
Sure,
question po pala tayo
sure,
dito.
sure,
Sorry
sure.
po.
Go ahead.
What if nagtanong ang interviewee about sa payment or benefits of the job? Okay po ba yun? Or don't ask whatsoever po?
For me, yes, it's actually better to ask. But of course, you need to choose your words. Okay? Wag naman yung magkano po yung sahod. Wag naman gano'n, wag naman gano'ng way, 'di ba? You may ask that, during the part when they will ask you, "Okay, do you have any questions for me?" So you can try and ask parang, "Ma'am or sir, not to be too straightforward, but just I want to check, how much will I be like expecting, like even just for the range, or do we have like additional benefits?" So if it's the final interviewer, sometimes they will lead you. You can ask your recruiter. When they say you can ask your recruiter, that's the person who did the first interview. Ayun yung tip ko sa inyo. So, cause sometimes they call you din naman talaga, especially if you pass or you failed. So that's the time that you
Mm-mm.
ask them. Let's say if you pass, you can ask them straight out. Of course, it's your right. Kasi if you're trying to apply for four different jobs and you passed those five work, those jobs, right? So you need to choose. Saan ba yung pinakamalapit sa'yo? Kasi baka mamaya, mas malaki nga, lugi ka naman sa pamasahe. Okay, saan ba yung meron kang day one HMO? 'Di ba baka naman mamaya upon regularization pa pala yung HMO, kumbaga siyempre do'n ka na sa sure na day one meron ka na. So you need to weigh everything. 'Yun yung advice ko pala sa inyo. So you need to be practical especially nowadays. Reality check lang tayo. So double check your expenses kasi baka mamaya 30K nga yung starting tapos 500 a day naman yung pamasahe mo. So baka sa biyahe pa lang stressed ka na, hindi ka rin masyadong makapag-perform kasi pagdating mo sa office pawis ka na, haggard ka na, hindi ka na makapag-concentrate kasi 4 hours yung biyahe mo, 'di ba? So check everything and then the recruiters are aware of that. And especially those sa high performing students na talagang pinag-aagawan ng companies, meron talagang gano'n like mga honor students. So they can choose talaga kung sino yung nagbibigay ng mas malaki. Yun yung advantage ng ano sila, like Latin honors, 'di ba? So you can ask and it's better to always ask. Ayun. Thanks for help for the question.
Thank you so much, Verhel. And thank you so much once again, Miss Yell. And we are looking forward, ma'am, to have you again po sa our
Thanks,
webinar.
Maria.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
Our, bye po, ma'am. All right, so to those applicants who are interested to apply with Ernst& Young, you may visit www.jobs180.com/EYGTS. All right. So let's move on to our third speaker with the topic career opportunities for graduating students. An HR professional with more than 15 years working experience in human resources, specializing in talent acquisition, and a certified recruitment and selection professional. She used to work in the banking industry for more than 6 years, where she handled branch banking group and the corporate positions. Aside from recruitment and selections, she also had an experience in organizational development and HRIS. At present, she is a senior talent acquisition specialist in Makati Medical Center for almost 8 years. Her role involves end-to-end recruitment process for various key positions in the medical group. The HR Talent Acquisition Specialist from Makati Medical Center, Ms. Rhea Marine Neri Orense. Hello, Ms. Rhea. Good morning po.
Good morning, Maria. Good morning, students. Again, Maria, ha? I'll be
Yes, sure po.
sharing. Okay. Maria, can you confirm if you can see my slide?
All right. Yes, ma'am. Since your screen is up, I'll be back after 20 minutes for the Q&A. Good luck po.
Okay. So thank you again, Maria. Good morning, students. So again, thank you for that wonderful introduction. Again, my name is Rhea. So I am from Talent Acquisition of Makati Medical Center. So it's my privilege to be speaking to you today. So today I would like to talk about career opportunities you can explore after your graduation. So, as you may already know, graduation is a major milestone in your life that signifies the end of your academic journey and the beginning of your professional one. So, di ba, medyo exciting siya, but at the same time, it can be also overwhelming as you try to navigate your way through your through the working world. So, maybe most of you, especially if you're already a graduating student, or maybe you're at this point in your life that you're looking for a possible job. So what's next? So what happens after graduation? So hopefully after this talk, I will be able to share with you some tips on how you can jumpstart your career. So I enumerated here some of the steps in choosing a career. So number one, examine yourself. Number two, make a list of occupation or career that you would like to explore. Third, identify your goals and motivations. And of course, lastly, make a career choice. So let's go through each of these steps or process. So first, examine yourself. Before you can choose the right career, you must learn about yourself. So you should ask yourself, what are your values? What are your interests? What are your soft skills, aptitudes? And you have to combine that with your personality type. Kasi sometimes, a job may be fitted for you based on those qualifications. Then, let's admit it, sometimes, kahit na interest mo siya, or if you don't have the skill for that, then you may not be fitted for that particular position or for that particular job. So you first need to know yourself. So this means taking stock of your skills, and then you have to assess that versus your interests and then value. So ako, I suggest later on siguro, later tonight, after, before kayo matulog, especially if you're already thinking of, starting with your career, these are just some of the questions that you can ask yourself. What am I good at? What are my interests? What are my values? Ano ba yung mga importante sa akin? And what are my priorities in life? So after doing that, second is you make a list of occupations you would like to explore. So this is all about researching the job market and the career path that interests you. And then you narrow it down to your option. So, di ba, you already have the list of your interests, what are your values. Now it's time to create a short list of all possible work or occupations you are considering. So maybe you can align that with, what are their advantage and what are their disadvantages. And then maybe some of the criteria that you can set are, what are the job description? So ano ba itong work na to? Ano ba yung nire-require nitong position na to? What are the entry requirement? And later on, if for example, you accept this position, is there a career development? Ano nga ba yung career path ko once I accept this job? And what are the possible trainings and skills that I will learn by accepting this position? So these are just some. So again, a reminder, these are just some of the future or best career that you can explore in the future. Kasi most of them doesn't really require, we could say, na specific course. So if, for example, what if ganito po yung course ko? So, but I'm interested to, explore other opportunities. So these are just some of the positions that you can look into. So, of course, e-commerce, digital content and marketing, of course, healthcare, information technology, software development, and cybersecurity. So obviously, si e-commerce, our expanding online presence has led to changes in the way we traditionally do things. So this includes how we do or how we shop. So sino ba dito yung may mga online application? I'm pretty sure you're already familiar with this one. So e-commerce sales and revenue have been growing year on year for over a decade. So as emerging markets gain access to the internet, they are expected to grow further. So this diverse industry is in search for skilled graduates who are looking to excel in constantly changing global business workforce. So I guess everyone could really join this e-commerce career or field. This is something close to heart. So of course, working in Makati Med, healthcare professionals. So especially during the height of the pandemic, no, so it shone a light in the importance of workers in medical or healthcare, such as doctors, nurses, medical technologists, and other professionals. So I know that they are in demand not only here in the Philippines but also abroad. Another one is cybersecurity. So these are skilled experts in cybersecurity na high in demand because they ensure that our personal and of course company-wise, our data is protected. So the cybersecurity industry is expected to grow by 12% by 2027. So that's roughly 4 years from now. And it offers a job with competitive salaries, making this an excellent career choice around the world. And of course, you have the digital content, information technology, and software development. So again, guys, these are just some of the careers that you can explore. So maybe you're asking, what if po wala dito yung career that I'm interested? So you can, that's something that you can also explore based on those criteria that we've already discussed earlier. And then third, identify your goals and motivation. So once you've put together a list about you and possible work opportunities, now it's time to turn on what are your goals and motivations for working. So eto na tayo. So once meron na kayong list, ito yung mga interests ko, these are my values, and then you already have a shortlisted of possible career opportunities. Now, you have to identify naman ano yung mga things that is important. Ano nga ba yung mga goals ko and why am I interested or motivated for work? So this help you chart a course towards landing your chosen field or profession. So ano bang hinahanap mo? Are you looking or are you after the salary or benefits offered by the company? Are you looking for a work-life balance? So I'm pretty sure familiar and lagi nyo itong naririnig. Or maybe you're looking for flexibility. So perhaps you want a career that will pay a higher entry-level salary, comparable occupations, or maybe you're looking for a flexibility. So meaning you can work anywhere and anytime. Or maybe even if you're just starting your career, ang hinahanap mo naman is a career or an opportunity where you have the career growth. And lastly, make a career choice. So finally, after doing all your research, you are now ready to make your choice. So you pick the occupation that you think will bring you the most satisfaction based dun sa lahat ng mga information that you have gathered. So keep in mind, so ito, I always remind this, especially to my applicants, that you will probably suited to more than just one career. And you can change career direction more than once in your working life. So the key to being employable is having the ability to adapt and learn new skills. So that has been my part. Thank you. You've been a great audience. And before I end, I would like to invite everyone to check on our career site. So you may check our official website. So that's www.makatimed.net.ph, or you can also check our Jobs 180 account. So that's jobs180.com/Makati Medical Center. So we have posted there most of our vacancies, especially our ongoing hiring, or you can also send directly your application to recruitment@makatimed.net.ph. So I hope I was able to share valuable insights in your application. So good luck and have a nice day. Thank you so much. Back to you,
Thank you so
Maria.
much, Miss Rhea, for once again, all right. Thank you so much, Miss Rhea, for your presentation. Yes, but guys, for those who have questions with Miss Rhea and the topics, please post it na sa ating comment section. But here are my offline questions po, no? First question po, ma'am. For courses po na may board examination, what should they do first po? Is it okay to take the board examination or look for a job na po agad?
That's a very good question, Maria, no? Actually, Maria, that actually depends on the applicant. Kasi, and also depending on the profession. I want to give example, like here in Makati Medical Center. So, di ba sometimes, especially if you have to align that with the ending ng calendar year. So, let's say your board exam, or you will be graduating middle of the year. So, let's say by May or April or May. So, let's say yun yung graduation mo. And then, yung board exam mo would be sometime December or November. So some, what they usually do is they postpone muna looking for employment. So meaning they focus on the review first, and then after that, after the licensure exams, dun sila nagtitake ng applications nila. While for some, it can also be an effective way kasi to learn the profession. So meaning while ongoing yung review nila, ang ginagawa nila is they look for employment. So meaning they're working at the same time they are reviewing. Then come board exam, they are already prepared doon sa possession nila. Like here in Makati Medical Center, we have possessions na we allow and we accept under board. So meaning not yet licensed, and then we help them with their licensure exam, we assist them, we give them additional review and additional guidelines. And then once they pass the board exam, we have a ready position for them. So meaning, even though they're not yet licensed, pina-practice na namin sila. So para later on, it's just a matter of, positioning really yung mga applicants or yung mga candidates na yun to their respective position. So actually, that depends. From what I mentioned with my presentation, that actually depends on your goals and ano ba yung mga hinahanap mo. So it can be, before the board exams or after the board exam. So that totally depends on you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rhea. Ma'am, ano naman po yung biggest challenge for fresh graduates po?
Okay. Maria, in terms ba ng application nila or in preparing for the application?
In prepare, both ma'am, both na lang po.
Okay. Sige. Siguro one of the challenges, or we could say na one of the hesitations kasi, this is an often, how do you call it, parang cases na usually na-mention sa akin, especially if, candidates are newly board passer or maybe they don't have that much experience. Sometimes kasi they're hesitant to really try, especially, let's say, for example, they're interested with a certain possession and they are not equipped yet. Let's say, wala silang working experience, feeling nila pagka newly graduate or even newly board passer sila is hindi sila magka-qualify for a certain position. They get intimidated. Siguro that's the right word for that. They get intimidated with in a certain position or maybe a certain company. So I always suggest na why not give it a try. So meaning you apply for the position, you try pa din, and then who knows what can happen. So it's a matter of really trying and exerting effort for that.
Thank you so much po, ma'am. Ma'am, how about po sa mga sa mga graduating students natin na they are going to apply po sa different po sa course po na kinuha po nila?
Okay, sige. So actually, isa din yan sa mga questions na what if po iba naman yung course? So I'm interested
Yes
to,
po.
apply for this position, pero I have a different course for that. So, well, of course, you also have to set expectations for that. That actually depends on the company and the position that you're applying for. Because some positions, some companies, they have some flexibility on that. So meaning as long as, let's say, you send the application, tapos you are invited for, an interview or maybe for an exam. So it's a matter of really doing your very best for the position. Kasi sometimes, ano naman yan eh, basta mabigyan ka lang ng chance to be interviewed and to be screened by the company.
Yes po.
So, yun. So, kaya you try, you do your research, and of course, sometimes kasi may advantage yan kapag let's say this are the criteria and nakaset na. For example, companies are looking for business or accounting, but you're not an accounting graduate, pero sa tingin mo you have the skills to do that, then medyo may advantage lang kasi kapag accounting yung kinuha mo na course. Kasi maybe, may mga subjects doon na applicable din sa company. So, ikaw, na non-accounting graduate, you have to exert lang more effort siguro, especially if you get hired for that position. But don't be parang limit yourself, especially if you know that you have the skills and you're interested. That's why it's very important to really know and ask yourself.
Okay po. Thank you so much, Ma'am Rhea. Ma'am, last questions na lang po.
Yes.
For those applicants who are interested with Makati Medical Center po, no, what expectations they can get from Makati Med, ma'am?
Hello. Okay, expectations in terms of siguro in terms of the working environment. So since of course Makati Medical Center, we're into healthcare. So meaning we take care of people. So one of our major expectations from our candidates is that they should have malasakit. So generally it's malasakit on taking care of the patient, looking after other people, at the same time malasakit in making a collaboration, or having to work with different professionals, that you only not take care of your patients, but you also have to take care of each other. So kasi especially here you have to work with different kinds of professionals and different professions. So dapat marunong ka din talaga makisama. That's one of our major expectations from our candidates.
Yes, Ma'am Rhea. Thank you so much for sharing us your time and your knowledge to our audience po. I think that will be the last question po, and we are looking forward to have you, and thank you for joining us today po. Thank you, Miss
Thank you,
Rhea.
Maria. Thank you, Jobs 180. I'll see you around. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much po. Yes, there you have it, guys. We are now down to our last guest speaker with the topic developing strong work ethics. She has been with ADP Philippines for 12 years as an HR manager. Her career of over 28 years includes customer service, training, marketing, employee engagement, and operation support, mostly in the financial industry, having worked for Citibank, NA, AIG, BDO, GE Money, and East West Bank. She is most inclined towards process improvement and having the personal touch to drive client experience. The HR manager from ADP Philippines, Miss Joanne Topacio. Good morning, Miss Joanne.
Hi, good morning po. Morning, Maria.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Ma'am, I'll be back after 20 minutes for the Q&A pa. Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you. Hi, good morning to all the students and faculty who are here. I'll be sharing my screen in just a few seconds. Ayan. Hope we can confirm, Maria, if you could see my screen already.
Yes, ma'am. Since your screen is up, po, I'll be right back after 20 minutes. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank
Yes, po.
you. All right. So, good morning, students and faculty from University of Perpetual Help. I'll be discussing today how to develop strong work ethic. This is our agenda. So, what is work ethic? Ano ba talaga siya, and why is it important? I'll also be discussing what employers look for in terms of work ethic. Ano po yung elements of strong work ethics, and our call to action. And then we also have time later for question and answer. No? So, what is work ethic? This is one of my favorite sayings, no, or quotes. It's from Roy T. Bennett, and he says, "Work ethic is do what is right, not what is easy." Tendency kasi natin pag may pinapagawa yung employer or may task tayo, we do yung ano yung mabilis, no, or the fastest way to do it, and we might be compromising the quality of our work. So, kung ano yung tama, do what is right, even if it takes a longer time, then that's a good work ethic. Yeah. So, the definition of work ethic, you can actually find this in Google, which I did. No, it's the moral principles, policies, and values that businesses follow so that it governs our actions and the way we engage with our clients and with each other. So, why is it important? Because as an employer, so here in ADP, we really value work ethics. We actually have 7 company values. It's called the ADP values. And all of it encompasses work ethics. No? So what we look for when we have applicants or existing employees, dapat we are always professional towards our work. Professional is very holistic. No, it's the way you dress at work, the way you act, the way you behave toward each other. So we do not allow, no, if we have our employees who raise their voice at each other, or they say rude things or bad words to clients, yung mga ganon. We also have professionalism in terms of time. So if we have a meeting that's set, for example, at 10:30 a.m., like now, dapat nandun kami even before 10:30. We should be ready for the meeting, and we should be prepared. We also look for someone who is acute in time management. You know the saying that, or some people say, I'm multitasking, kaya ganito yung, I'm very busy. Actually, studies say that multitasking is not a good way to work, no, or to be productive. Dapat we focus on one task first, and then we move on to the other. So your attention, if it's focused, then your results will be way a lot better. Next is we look for someone who delivers consistent, high quality work. Because in ADP, since our core product and service is payroll, so we are very, keen on accuracy in assisting our clients. We are also looking for someone who is very good with attention to detail, yung mga ganon. And dapat consistent po yun, because in our environment and the clients that we assist, one mistake can actually mean a lot of money lost, no, for the company. Kaya yun yung hinahanap namin. We also look for someone who displays good work habits. So we have in our office a code of conduct. So I'm sure you have this in your school, yung student's handbook. We also have that. So these are guides on how we should act and behave in the office. And if we don't, follow that, then there are sanctions that would be done to the employee. No? Pero good work habits is very basic. You come to work on time. If you cannot come to work, you have to inform your team leader or your manager. Same as in school, no? Kailangan yung sabihin si professor, si teacher na I can't come to school. Good work habits also means that you show up, you are ready, you have, if there are things that is keeping you from doing your work, we right away inform our team leader, or we have to escalate it para maayos agad, no? Or you also have mga timeliness in submitting our work or attending meetings, attending our calls. And lastly, also we also really look for someone we can trust. Now, if you could see the performance versus trust matrix, um, this is actually taken off from the Navy SEALs. No? So I'm sure you're familiar with them. They are the core team in terms of mga special ops na kumbaga na they send these 6 people as a team to do special operations for the US military. And they follow this matrix wherein in terms of performance and trust, they would rather hire or work with someone who is meeting or mid-performing, no? Yung average lang na worker or performer, pero mataas yung trust nila with that person. And more so, if you are a high performer and they trust you also, then those are the ones that we want to hire. What we try to stay away from, or what we don't want to do is we are high performers nga, pero our employer see that if you have like me in HR, no, I'm in HR. If I see someone who has really good performance ratings, it does not mean that we have to take it at face value. We also have to check, is this person doing the work properly? Kung baga, if you're in sales, bakit ang taas-taas ng sales mo compared to your colleagues? Are you doing everything with integrity, with honesty? That's why you have the sales, or are you, somehow doing something dubious or stealing maybe sales from other people? So dapat high performing or mid performing and the high trust, that's a good combination. So this is also another quote from Viggo Mortensen. I know if you watch Lord of the Rings, no, he was an actor there. So he said that I have a work ethic. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it. Word of honor, no? That's also very important, because when you verbally commit to something, to a project, or you're going to be at that place, or be prepared for a meeting, or you're going to deliver this report, dapat we do that, because the moment that we say something and the action does not match it, mawawala yung trust sa atin. Okay, so I have here 15. Actually, there's a lot more, but these are for me the core elements. So number 1, first and foremost, really is honesty. With my experience with working for 20 plus years, I have always known to find the importance in admitting if I made a mistake. I don't hide it. I encourage, you, if ever may mali tayo, talagang aminin natin so that we could fix it. No? So that's very important. Integrity. This is where in every action or every behavior, even any email or any correspondence you make, anong project na hinahawakan nyo, you have to treat it with integrity. Ibig sabihin, you give the correct data, the correct statuses, things like that. So let's avoid saying, oh, my report is going to be or let's say patapos na po yung report ko but we haven't started yet, right? So let's be honest enough to ourselves and say, I need help, I'm lagging in this project. So we do that in our office. We say, I need help because I need to submit this, but I need some help and resources. So that's a good work ethic. Next is fairness. So we have to avoid yung mga, as leaders, yung mga favoritism. We also want to encourage fairness in terms of if that person deserves the credit or the recognition, then we should give that person that. Okay. Act like an owner. This is something our CEO told us before as a credo, in a company. He wants each and every one of us to act like an owner and think like an owner, as if we own ADP. So when you start doing that, it's very similar to owning your own small business. No, whether you have a store or an online business, if you're the owner kasi, you make sure that each and every aspect of that business is taken care of, right? Kasi if something goes wrong, you have to fix it. If something good happens, you reap the rewards. So by acting like an owner, it gives all the associates and employees in our company the chance to actually behave like they are acting like a business owner and owning the business and caring for the company. We also encourage openness. So this is also similar to admitting if you need help, right? Or admitting and asking for assistance, saying na, to our, for example, to our clients or even to our bosses, no, na, sir, I know you requested for the report on Friday. I really cannot make it on time. May I ask for an extension? Just be honest. Next is also important. We respect others. At this day and age, no. So we have a lot of scenarios in the office wherein we really encourage associates, and actually we don't even need to encourage. It's ang maganda sa ADP. I feel that we have hired the right people. Respect for others is already second nature. The opinion of others, their beliefs in lives, their religion, where they came from. No, so everyone there is like a very accepting of each other. Also, we have to be reliable and dependable. So, what I would want you to think of is, if you tell your professor or your teammates kung may thesis kayo na, oh, sige, I will contribute to our project. Do you really contribute to that project? Right? Do you show up? Importante yon sa office. And then next, accountability. This is also similar to own your mistakes. So we really encourage that. We accept the fact that we are all humans. We make mistakes, we make errors, we overlook things, we forget things. And in the office, if that happens, just, admit it and then let's move on. And so move on and we'll fix the issue. So walang problema yon. Next is confidentiality. So especially where with my background in the banking industry and now ADP, which is payroll services, we do not talk about our clients in public places. We don't talk about our clients in, avoid discussing it. If the person we are talking to is not even supposed to know about the issue or the client's situation. Dedication. So this is where we put in a lot of hours and effort to make sure that we service our clients in an exceptional manner. Next is competence. So work ethic, bakit dapat competence yung core element? Because we need to know that what do you need to improve in yourself? We cannot be the best in everything. So my personal approach is, I know I am not strong in this aspect. I ask help from another HR manager or another HR associate and say, hey, I need your feedback on this. And then I learn from that person, and then I try to build my own skill set in that way now. Then we have professionalism. Again, we've heard the other speakers before, the way you dress, the way you speak, the way you transcend to other people, that when they talk to you, they know that they can trust you, they find you competent, they know that you will treat your conversation with confidentiality and with integrity. Then next is humility. So I would want encourage everyone, especially if you're in a leadership role, no, na humility is really key. If you are dealing, for example, with a team, dapat aminin natin kahit leader tayo, kung nagkamali tayo or we have shortcomings, that's very important. Then we have initiative. Like sometimes in the office, may mga times na light lang yung work for the day, no? So wow, we have half day free, no? So we also encourage na if you have a good work ethic, some employees actually go to their managers and say, I have the whole day free already. Is there something you want me to do, a small task that, to get it off your plate? And then mga legality. So ADP is very much compliant with laws and regulations, and not just Philippine laws, but also US laws. So if you are working for a company, it's important that you check, are they compliant with the Philippine laws? Because I know that if a company is doing shortcuts or ang dami mga pending na requirements, no, then in the long run, in the long term, baka doon nila ma-feel na mawawala na yung maybe yung certifications or the licenses to operate. And that's not a good way, no? So dapat pati yung legal aspect. Okay, so do's and don'ts. This is short list, no? Strong ethics, discipline, avoid procrastinating, yung tipong, next week ko na to gagawin or tomorrow ko na gagawin. If you can start doing even the first 2 or 3 steps today, start it already. Strong ethics, be professional. Poor is being inefficient. Okay? Hindi tayo focused sa work. We also want to encourage you to be adaptable. In the workplace, change happens every day in terms of processes, management, even scenarios, especially with HR. We deal with cases of our employees, no, mga that went against the code of conduct. You have to switch kaagad roles and, adapt. What is considered as poor ethics is negativity, meaning you are fighting the change and saying, no, I'm not going to do things differently. Dito na ako sanay eh. No one will grow thinking that way. Next is teamwork. We work in teams, even though I don't have a team as what you would imagine na, na may nagre-report sa akin. I have 2 people reporting to me. However, my team is the whole company, right? All my clients are all the employees in the company, all 2,800. So I want to make sure that every time they come to me for help, they will leave feeling that I have helped them. No? Being uncooperative, so we don't want that. No? Na ikaw ba yung team member na pag sinabi, nako, nag-meeting tayo tapos hindi na naman nag-ambag si ganyan-ganyan sa project, di ba? So we don't want to be known as that person. Next is determination. So we have to really set a goal so that by setting goals, you know where you're going to, di ba? On the other hand naman, being irresponsible, letting things go wrong, knowing na you see it na there are some cases in the office that, I'm not saying this happens often, but there are processes where you see na it's not working well or it's not doing the right thing as the end product. So you have to be responsible enough to report it. That's what we always tell our associates. Report something that you see that is not happening correctly. Be responsible, right? Be accountable for your actions. Poor ethics, yung passiveness. You don't care. You are, you come to work and then you do your basic workload and then you leave. So what we encourage kasi in our office is we build we have actually mga extracurricular activities like clubs in the office. We have the dance crew, house of music, mga singers, outdoor club, photo club, a lot of clubs so that we engage our associates to be more active at the office and to build friendships and bond also. So it's not all about work. You also want to have that personal, connection at work also. Then it's also good to self-motivate because for me, personally, motivation should start with ourselves. Let's not always depend on other people or social media to get motivation. Dapat manggaling sa sarili natin, di ba? Poor work ethics, on the other hand, is unwillingness to motivate and say, no, I'm not going to do something that I should be doing today, for whatever reason, dapat we have to find it in ourselves to have that reason for getting up in the morning. And then last is strong ethics, integrity, which we talked about a while ago. Poor ethics is toxicity. um, I don't like a toxic environment. So if personal life or even work life, no, if that person is toxic, always talking bad about other people, yung laging nag-gossip, I stay away from those people. Because life is short. We don't want to surround ourselves with negativity. Let's look for positive things. Let's also be the positive person. So that's for me a better way to be now. Okay, so our call to action, I suggest, which we do in our office, we proactively ask feedback from our peers, our friends, and our teachers. In your case, no, sa amin naman, our managers. So we ask around, how do you think I am at work? How am I working? Is it good? Is it neutral? Do I need improvement? That's how we are, no? We are open to people telling us the truth of what they see us doing. Kasi sometimes we just do our daily work not knowing that, it's not, good enough, di ba? There are a lot of things na dapat palang baguhin, di ba? So we have that healthy feedback sessions with everyone in the office, with our teammates, our managers, and even all the way up to our directors. Then once they give you feedback, then now you know now what to improve, then make plans on how to improve it. So for example, pag sinabi, oh Joanne, you know what, we noticed that you're always late for meetings. You come in, 2, 3, 5 minutes always late for a call or for a meeting. So now I need to know, I know now that I need to improve on my attendance now and avoid being tardy. So my doable plans, so I'll come back with, okay, I'll make sure that I dial in 5 minutes before the call, or I'll walk to the conference room 5 minutes before the meeting. I'll set an alarm to remind me, because sometimes you're busy working, hindi mo nakita may call na pala nakaschedule. So I set alarms before the call, like 5 minutes before the call. Things like that. And then after maybe 6 months, you ask them, hey, have you noticed that, am I on the right track in improving myself, right? And then you also look for people who really give you that positive reinforcement. You know what? Something that maybe we forget, no, that words are very powerful. Even our thoughts are powerful. So if you want to have really an environment where you are encouraged to be the best that you can be, surround yourself with positive people. And consistency. So after 6 months, sinabi, oh, you're on your way to getting better, you're doing a good job, then keep it up. No? Because it's a daily commitment. Nga. Hindi lang siya para lang masabi we improved. It has to be every day. Okay? And that is my presentation.
Thank you so much, Ms. Joanne, for sharing us your insights about having a strong work ethics. All right, thank you so much. And guys, for those who have questions with the topic and with Ms. Joanne, please don't be shy to post it sa ating comment section, okay? But Ma'am Joanne, here are the offline questions po. First one, what are the trend for work ethics po nowadays sa mga companies na laging ginagawa ng mga employees? Like yung mga nalalabag po nila, just like that po.
Okay. So yung mga trend ng hindi good things na ginagawa, in ba yan?
Yes po, yes po.
Well, what we notice now, kasi we are work from home. We are hybrid. So we encourage associates to work at the office 3 days and then work from home 2 days. No? So ang nakita namin trend is attendance. No? Since nasa bahay, we tend to maybe log in kasi we're very strict with our working hours. If your shift is 8 p.m. to 5 a.m., dapat you're on time. And Pag 8:01, 8:02, wala ka pa, hindi ka pa naka-log in, our team leader can see that. They will start contacting you na, are you okay? Is there a problem with your internet? Things like that. Yun yung trend ngayon because of this scenario now of work from home and hybrid.
Yes, so attendance po talaga yung problema no, ma'am, kapag working hybrid ka. Ma'am, how about sa
Correct.
mga working from home po? How can we foster trust among teammates who seldom see one another in person?
Oh, that's a good question. So, so since work from home sila, yung iba naman nasa office, we have
Yes
a
po.
team leader, no? We have team leaders, they report to manager, then report to directors. Every day, the team leader is tasked to check up on all their employees, whether they are at office or at home. Like, are you logged in? Are you good? Is your internet okay? Then that's okay. Then, because of technology, there are so many ways to talk to each other, di ba? Like we have,
Yes,
obviously,
ma'am.
mga social media, pero meron din kaming office chat that they could say, TL, my internet is slow, or TL, I have a problem with my ganyan. Mabilis yung response time because also of technology. Pero
Okay
pag
po. Thank you.
sinasabing trust, if you're talking
Yes
about
po.
how do we trust them, you know what? By default, we trust our employees. That's our default thinking. We don't hire you na alanganin kami na we trust you. We hire you, we trust you from day one. That's not a question. The only time it will change if you do something that will make us question us trusting you. Yun lang naman. So don't do anything na makaka-lose tayo ng trust ng ating TL or ng company.
That's right, ma'am. Thank you so much. Ma'am, we do have a question here from our audience po. From Rhea Dwight Bunaubra. Yes. How does a person deal with people with poor work ethic, especially if in a forced environment like group works?
Like group works.
Yes
I
po.
think I know what Verhel is talking about. Since you're in college, ito ba yung mga thesis na may group work? Tapos may mga teammates tayo na ayaw mag-contribute.
Participate.
Ito ba, Verhel? I understand. I have been there when I was in college. I also understand because I have a daughter who is in college, no. So that's her feedback. Like, Mom, we have a group mate. He never shows up for our meetings. He never, gives yung contribution niya dun sa work. And I always tell her, and I will tell it to you, Verhel, no, na be glad you are not that person. Number one. And I tell this to my daughter. Be glad na hindi ikaw ang na may ganyang behavior. I would rather that you focus on your contribution, focus on what you can do for that project, for that group work. Hayaan mo na sila. Don't waste your time. You can also follow up na, hey, are you coming in to join us? Or where is the report? But then, you know what? In the long run, you are the one working. You are the one who is learning how to be disciplined. You are the one who is, progressing to have this good work ethic. That person will deal with their own challenges when they go work for a company. Then, that should not be your problem. Because sometimes we can only do so much, no? We can follow up with them, pwede nating kulitin, di ba? Pwede nating i-harass sa text messages. Pero pag ayaw talaga ng tao, we cannot force them. I'd rather you shift that energy to work on yourself. I hope that made sense.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for that. And last question lang po. How to empower yourself for disappointments at your job po?
How to empower yourself with disappointments. Okay, that's good, no? We are agreeable that meron talagang disappointments at work. Okay, that's good. Not every day is a perfect day. I always say to when I do our new hire orientation, hindi kami perfect company. There is no perfect company. Okay, ADP is not perfect. You will have disappointments. However, empowering yourself, that's also a good way of asking. It really boils down to you na me when I feel syempre there are days, 'di ba, na you feel tired, you don't wala yung energy mo to go to work because of maybe personal things at home, or you're just basically over fatigue, whatever. Empowering myself, I remember I have bills to pay. I need my job. And that is what I'm being honest, ha, hindi ako nag-sugarcoat pati sa office. The reason why we look for work is to earn money, right? So that we could pay our bills, we could, have a certain lifestyle, and that keeps me on my toes, 'di ba? Na kailangan i-empower ko kasi meron ako mga miracle bills sa darating, kailangan ko siyang bayaran. Pero what's a better thing to do is, aside from reminding ourselves we have bills to pay and we really need money, is also in the process, since you're working na lang din, why not also make yourself better? So that when you make yourself better, you get more work, then you earn even more money. Okay. So, real talk lang naman. No, we all need, that's that's my motivation.
That's right, ma'am. Thank you so much for sharing us your thoughts about it, po. And yes, that will be our last question, Ma'am Joanne. And thank you so much for joining us today. We are looking forward to have you again to our future events, po. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maria. Thank you.
Yes, well, thank you so much. All right, so to our audience, thank you for staying. Hope you learned and enjoyed the session. If may tanong pa kayo, please send us a message sa aming Facebook. It's facebook.com/jobs180 or email us at info@jobs180.com. So to officially close our program, may we invite Ms. Divine Angelique Cabrera, the Head of Student Affairs and Services, for the closing remarks.
Hello everyone. It's been a pleasure being with all of you today, and I would like to send my gratitude to everyone for sticking through the end of this event. Before we part ways, I would just like to request the Perpetual students and alumni who attended today to answer the evaluation form as part of their post-attendance. Thank you very much, and I wish you all good luck.
Okay. Mhm. Okay, so yes, for more career opportunities, before I forget, please visit www.jobs180.com. And there you have it, guys. We are done with Talk Proper and successfully tackled all the topics assigned for today's session. Okay, and do not forget to evaluate this event. Evaluation link is flashed on your screen and is also available at the comment section. Please do note that the evaluation will serve as your attendance for today's session. All right. Okay, we would like to thank each one of you guys also for staying all throughout the event. We hope that the webinar helps you be prepared in the world of work. We would like to thank Perpetual Health College for collaborating with Jobs 180. And we would like to thank also the following sponsors for being our current sponsors for this event. You may check out their page for career opportunities. Just visit www.jobs180.com. All right. And then please watch out the next set of webinars we are going to host for. Check our Facebook page for the topics that we will be discussed, and you are welcome to join in on those sessions too. The program has finally concluded. This is your host, Maria Zaleo Mandam, and we will see you soon. Have a great morning and ingat everyone.
shout and cheer in unity for alma mater dear. Training the mind and the hearts and the hands, ready to serve us best as we can. Perpetual help by thy banner we stand, loyal and true, spread thy fame o'er the land. Perpetual help, the fount of truth, where knowledge emanates, where we have learned life will bear fruit, for our success awaits. The children here we sing for thee, we raise our voices here, we shout and cheer.